The heroine of Newport Harbor. Yesterday noon, as a dispatch in the Evening Post announced, Miss Ida Lewis again distinguished herself by rescuing a man who was in danger of drowning in Lower Newport Harbor. Miss Lewis first came into prominence in 1866, when she saved the life of a soldier who had set out for a sail on the harbor in a light skiff. It was one of the coldest and most blustering days ever known in this latitude, yet a girl but 25 years old, impelled by the noblest spirit of humanity, ventured to the assistance of a man who had brought himself into a sorry plight by sheer foolhardiness. One day during the autumn of the next year, while a terrible gale was raging, two men set out to cross the harbor with several sheep. One of the animals fell overboard while the boat was being rocked by the heavy sea, and its keepers, while trying to save it, were in immediate peril of swamping their craft. Ida Lewis saw them from the window of her father's lighthouse on Lime Rock, and in a few moments was rowing them in safety towards the shore. After landing the men, she went back again and rescued the lost sheep. These brave deeds, with others of a less striking character, made Miss Lewis' name famous throughout the world, and won for her the title of the Grace Darling of America, but in 1869 the newspapers were filled with the story of what was perhaps her greatest exploit. On the 29th of March, two young soldiers set sail from Newport for Fort Adams in a small boat, under the guidance of a boy who pretended to understand the simple rules of navigation. Mrs. Lewis chanced to be looking out of the lighthouse window, and saw a squall strike the boat and overturn it. She called to her daughter, telling her of the casualty. Ida, though ill at the time, rushed out of the house, launched her lifeboat and sprang in, with neither hat on her head nor shoes on her feet. By the time she reached the scene of the disaster the boy had perished, and the two soldiers were clinging desperately to the wreck, almost ready to loose their hold from exhaustion. They were dragged into the lifeboat, and carried to Lime Rock, and, with careful nursing, were soon sufficiently restored to proceed to Fort Adams. Miss Lewis' repeated acts of philanthropy have been recognized by gifts at various times, but no national testimonial, so far as we are aware, has yet been offered her. True generosity, like true virtue, is its own reward, and we of the world are not often disposed to meddle with its quiet enjoyment by its possessor. It seems eminently fitting, however, that among the first to receive the new decoration to be bestowed by Congress for heroic deeds in saving life should he the heroine of Newport Harbor, New York Post.